Okay, it is 6:40 at night on 8/28/2023, and I will do a quick update on Idalia. And again, I'm using this different streaming platform, so bear with me, please. I do like the graphics better here a little bit, so. Okay, so here is the latest on the path of destruction here. And earlier this morning, when I came on here, this path of probability here was a little bit more to the east, so now it seems to be back to more of a westerly track here, and that's not good for two reasons. One, the longer it stays out over the open water here, the longer or the more chance it has of strengthening. So the earlier path was a little bit more where it hit more towards central Florida here on the western side, but now it seems like it's shifted more, maybe 20 miles or so to the west. So and this is going to be a problem this whole entire path here, because the uncertainty here of this front that's dropping through the center part of the United States, and a couple other different factors here, how soon this happens, how late this happens, could shift this still. So models are pretty much consistent that it's going to hit somewhere around the bend here. They just don't know where exactly. And these storms here in the Gulf of Mexico are notorious for being a little bit more undecided than something that comes and hits the east coast of the United States. So, because there's a lot of different factors here in the Gulf of Mexico as opposed to the Atlantic. I mean, you basically have, your intertropical conversion zone, you have high pressure up here, and depending on when these storms pass off, when these fronts pass off the United States, is going to dictate where these storms go. Here, there's a lot more going on in the Gulf, but one constant is it's pretty consistent now where this is going to be a major hurricane when this hits Florida. So, they consider a major hurricane to be anything above a Cat 2, Cat 3. So, this is not going to be a minimal hurricane when it hits Florida. So, it's pretty much a consistency here. This water here is really warm, and like I said, the longer it stays over this moist open water here, the longer it's going to have to get better organized. So prepare for the worst. I just got done talking to my mom who lives down in Spring Hill, Florida, so I just prepare for the worst, because this could change. I mean, a 10-20 mile difference either east or west could make a big difference on where the center right of the storm hits, and that's where most of the damaging winds, damaging storm surge is going to happen. All right, so let's do some. Okay, so right now the current information is the center location is moved. It's more towards the north. This morning it was still kind of meandering down here, more south from where it is now. But it's still moving fairly slowly, 8 miles per hour, so it's not really moving a whole lot. Right now it's causing a whole bunch of havoc over here on the western part of Cuba. They've been through this before. And there's some mountains in here, so it might, encounter land a little bit here, but maximum sustained winds at 70 miles an hour, so it's below hurricane status by like 4 miles per hour, but this was done at 4 p.m., so this will be probably updated soon. This will be a hurricane within the next few hours for sure. And this is the Saffir-Simpson scale kind of model here, where you go 39 miles per hour, you get a depression, then it turns into a storm, and then it turns into a hurricane, regular hurricane between 74 and 110 miles per hour. And then once you get past, 3 is when it becomes a major hurricane. So this will be a major landfalling hurricane here. Alright, so let's go to some maps here. And I want to get it visible here because it's still light out. So usually when I come on and do these updates, it's too dark. So but you can see here, this is this is definitely, you can see right in here the last image here, so you can definitely see this has good outflow now. This really is starting to intensify quite a bit because it's moving a little bit faster, but there's your center right there, and it's now underneath, it seems like it's underneath these higher cloud tops here, so you got outflow, it's starting to look like a buzzsaw here. You got wrapping storms into the center. And this convection here is going to wrap inside pretty soon, and it's going to... I don't know what the pressure is at right now yet. So this is the enhanced cloud top phase. So you can see the deep reds here. The deeper the red is, the higher the cloud. So these go way up, and you can see this area here around the southeast of the storm really starting to get going here. So there's almost like an eye forming here. And you're seeing a lot of these storms here, especially around the periphery of the storm here, starting to get better outflow here. It looks a lot better today than it did this morning. And, as this moves up the coast here, this is going to start getting much better centralized storm. So, but these outer bands are going to hit all parts of Florida way before the storm does. So, all right. So I'm going to go back. Actually, I'll leave that up for a second. I want to. I did it. Proud of myself. All right, so okay, so this is the potential storm surge areas of interest, and I got the legend back, so that's good news. So, it's still basically, from, I would say, Homosassa Springs up towards, let me go further in here. I think it's Dixie. Yep, Dixie. So, but you're starting to see now some of these areas that weren't showing up this morning in these greater than 6 feet, greater than 9 feet in the deep reds here, showing up more north, right in here. So, but like I said this morning, if you live around Tampa north, all the way up to Tallahassee, you need to keep your eye on this, because these storms here in the Gulf of Mexico are very unpredictable when it comes to the exact location of where this is actually going to affect, especially when it comes to this surge here. And like I said, the longer it stays over open water here, it's going to have a better chance of becoming worse. So, like if it comes up here and it just hits here, then it'll probably be a minimal hurricane. But if it stays on this path and stays over here a little bit longer, it's going to be stronger. So I would definitely prepare for a Cat 2 or maybe even a smaller Cat 3. But like I said, I hate the Saffir-Simpson scale because, numbers are everything to people. So, if it's just a Cat 1 these days, people will just say, hey, it's time to go driving around, This is going to be a hurricane, so anything can happen in a hurricane. Going to be a huge rain producer, a huge wind producer, especially along the eastern side of the storm. And the surge, you're talking over 9 feet above ground. So that's going to be a problem. So let's look at the latest on the, I don't want Spanish here. Okay, hold on. Okay, so this came out at 4 p.m. Almost 3 hours ago. There'll be another one soon. So there is a danger of life-threatening storm surge, inundation along portions of the Florida Gulf Coast, where a storm surge warning is in effect, including Tampa and the Big Bend region in Florida. So, like I said, from Tampa all the way up. But at this point, I think Tampa may be escaping this one, especially the majority of the storm. But you never know. From Tampa all the way up to the Bend. Inundation of 8 to 12 feet above ground level is expected, and that's surge. So that's catastrophic. That's 8 feet to 12 feet will start moving shit a lot. Residents in the area should follow any advice given by local officials. So if they tell you to get out, get out. Because these days here, if they tell you to get out and you don't get out, within 12 to 24 hours of the storm, if you get into trouble, they're not going to get you. They're just not. They're not going to risk people's lives to go save your ass when you couldn't get out. I mean, there's plenty of shelters, plenty of places to go. So years ago, they used to just try to go in and save people, when the storm was, killing people. But now they don't do that. They give you time to get out if you don't get out. And I would get gas now, because it always happens where all of a sudden everybody decides they want to go buy gas during a hurricane. And get as much gas as you possibly can now. If you have generators or you need to gas up your car, whatever, I would do that immediately. But it's not going to be like that. It's just always, there's always a village idiot, there's always somebody that just doesn't get it, whatever. All right, so here we go with the wind speed probabilities here, and you're talking, this area here is getting bigger and bigger and bigger, so this is not good news. The purple is 90 plus, right around 20 miles out of the center. You're probably going to have gusts over 120 for sure, 125, 130 maybe even, and that's going to be to the eastern side wrapping around to the western side. So you're going to have the wind come in, plow through and then go out. So over on the western side too, you're going to have wind going against you, where on the eastern side the wind's going to be coming out at you. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if these waters here on the western side get pushed out to sea. That's the force of these storms. When the wind comes around and hits the coast, they'll actually push some of these waters out. So even about 100 miles from the center, you're going to have still, hurricane force winds. You're going to have, 70 to 80. And then when you get out to the tropical storm force, you're probably talking 150, 200 miles. But some of these bands that come in here, the outer bands of these storms, could produce what they call intense intense lightning storms. So those storms themselves will have embedded prevailing winds out in front of them too. So right. So these are the winds. This is Franklin over here. So this is going to kick up some surf here too along the southeastern coast. So rip currents here up and down the east coast once it starts to lift north. So this is not going to help things, especially if this meanders in here for a little while when it comes over here into the Atlantic. And this will be a problem for Georgia, southern South Carolina, and if this makes another landfall here in North Carolina, that'll be another problem, because these waves are going to be higher anyways because of this circulation here pushing water in. So this is the storm now. It's 85 point, and then 21 or 2 north. So it's moving very slowly, but in the next 24 hours here, you're going to see it pick up quite a bit in this time span here. And this is going to be a heavy rain producer, but once it hits land, it's going to kind of probably expedite itself here in 12 hours or so. So it's not going to sit over Florida for forever. It's going to get in and get out. So the rain won't be too much of a problem, but it'll still create some localized flash flooding and stuff. So. But this is the scale here for the rain potential. You're probably talking 6 to 10 inches of rain in the deep orange here, and then 4 to 6. That's still a lot of rain, but Florida's seen rain before. Hey buddy, hey Thomas. My chat works, that's freaking awesome. I'm trying this new streaming service and I'm still working out some of the kinks. So. Alright, so we're going to go, what are we doing here? We're going to go to, actually I can do it from here. No, I can't. Is that where Ruckus lives? My parents live in Spring Hill, so they're right in the path too. Where does Ruckus live? Right. What am I doing? All right, we're going to go to so this is the water vapor here, and I put it on rock, so it's going to, take a few of these frames and just keep doing it. So this here is, and you have another upper level load here. So this is kicking up some of this wind shear here. But once this lifts north, and this front comes down here from the center part of the country here, this is going to dictate where this storm hits and where it sets up. But the latest models are having this show up a little bit later than sooner. So the sooner this gets here, the more it's going to take a right, and the later this gets here, the more it's going to kind of be more western, the cone, than eastern. So this is the prevailing qualifier here, because there's a front dropping down from the Great Lakes here. So but this system right here too is so this is a pretty good system here. This is getting much better organized than it was this morning. This will be a hurricane by this later tonight. And there's still dry air in here, but all of this stuff here is leaving the dry air to the east. So let's go down a level. So you have all this dry air here, so this storm cannot take a left. It just can't. It's just this high pressure dome here, and now you have this front dropping and this upper level low here. which is kicking up some storms here around the southeast right now. But as this lifts and this shear goes away, once this starts to move here, it's going to have all of this open water in here to really get its act together. And this water, like I said, they had temperatures above 90 here earlier this week, and it hasn't really cooled down any. So this has got plenty of fuel here, especially in the eastern Gulf. It's just really nice and warm. So this storm here, not only is it going to be a major hurricane, but it's going to be a major hurricane intensifying as it hits the coast. So like I said earlier, it's one thing if it becomes a major hurricane out here and then before it hits landfall starts to de-intensify, then, but this will be picking up steam as it hits, so it's not good. All right, so I'm going to go down another level here. See, this system right here is dictating where this is going to set up shop. So I think earlier some of the computer models had this coming and meeting this storm a little bit earlier than it's going to. So this is going to be delayed. So that's what's causing this to shift more west. And 20 or 30 miles is a big difference in these things. That's why these Gulf storms are really hard to pinpoint exactly where they're going to head, because here's your upper level low there. So this low here is actually preventing the storm from moving. But once this lifts, this is going to make a beeline for Florida. Look at that. That's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This is going to be a problem here. You're getting outflow here. You're starting to get this buzzsaw shape here. Still some wind shear though. I mean, it's encountering some westerlies here that are blowing some of these storms off at the top, but in this last image here, you see all of these pluming clouds here. These are all deep convection starting to get wrapped around the center. And it doesn't have anything to really prevent it from forming, because there's nothing up here that's going to, shear these cloud tops off. All right. So what I want to do is that'll be good enough right there. Hey Karen, how are you? Sorry, I was trying to pull up a map. Still trying to pull the map up. Hold on a second, I can't believe my chat is working. That's freaking awesome. Trying this new streaming service here, OneStream, and literally been kicking my ass. I finally got my chat to work. The bad news too is it's really hot in Florida right now, so you know, if they lose power for more than a couple of days, that you know, that sucks. Alright, so this is that system here that's kind of taking its sweet ass time moving down from the Great Lakes here. And this is probably one of the reasons why this cone has shifted here for the storm, because you know, depending on when this arrives and when that storm starts to move and gets caught up in this jet stream here, makes a big difference of where it hits. So this is the water vapor here of that same system. So this is hot in here. Well, the good news is it's probably going to bring some tropical air here, which will be fantastic. So that's the story. I mean, let's go back to I don't know if I can. Oh, maybe. Yep. Okay. So here's the surge potential again here in layman's terms. So earlier this morning it was more down in here, but now it's up north, more north of the bend than it was this morning. So you're talking 8 to 12 feet. That's catastrophic. I mean, that's going to be a huge problem, and most of it's going to be on the eastern side. So this storm has shifted a little west, and it could still shift, you know, like I said, 10, 20, 30 miles is a big difference when it comes to where this storm's going to hit. My freaking coffee's cold. And the cone again, and then I'll get out of here. So by tomorrow, early Wednesday morning, this storm here is going to be producing a lot of problems for especially western Florida, because these rain bands are going to start coming in probably a little earlier than that, the outer rain bands. But by 3-4 o'clock, you're going to start seeing this storm move into, and it's going to be, like I said, a growing major hurricane. So it's not going to detensify before it hits land. It's going to keep forming, and these isobars are going to continue to tighten. What I want to do is get, so the pressure is still, I mean, for a hurricane, the pressure is still fairly high. I mean, it's come down a little bit to 987. But once it starts working into the Gulf here, you're going to see this pressure drop quite a bit. And it's still, I mean, it's moving a little bit faster than it was yesterday, but 8 miles per hour is pretty stationary still. So, but once it gets up into here, once this low pressure that's over in the Panhandle right now moves out, this storm's going to really pick up some steam. So this is the marine forecast here. So the western part of Cuba right now is really getting really rough seas, and this is the wind 50 knots. So winds at 50 knots or more, right in the center, extending out probably, I don't know, 20, 30 miles or so, and then this purplish to the pink, you're probably talking tropical storm of force. So if we go forward 12 hours here, you'll see this area start to get bigger, more compact. And then once it hits into here, we're going to get buoy pickups here. There's tons of buoys in this area right here, so nope, I don't want that. Oh, sorry, I got it right here. So these are the buoys here. .2966 pressure indicator. So this is the buoy in the Yucatan Basin here. just a little south of where the storm actually is right now. The center anyways. So 35 miles an hour, 35 knots anyways, away from the center. So we're probably talking about 100 miles away from the center. 200 miles away from the center is still almost at tropical storm wind speeds. But once you get into the Gulf, you're going to start picking up different buoys. Look at this water temperature at 5 p.m. All right, so that's it. That's what I'm going to do. I just wanted to come on and give a... Yeah, I've been sitting out here for, I don't know, almost an hour now, and I forgot to drink my coffee, which is really weird. So it's gotten cold. But I just wanted to come on. Thanks, everybody, for coming on. I wanted to... Thomas is awesome. Karen's awesome. I'll probably see Karen later tonight on Manimal. Thomas Frost got a great page too. Channel. Thomas Frost is awesome. But I've been on here 42 minutes already, and I'm going to get the hell out of here. But if you, like I said, I'll probably do another live tomorrow morning when I get back from driving. This is going to be a problem for Central West Florida. So I hope everybody has a great night. And I will see everybody later. Thank you for stopping by.